I usually try to get my kids one camp a summer just for a fun thing for them to do.
To be clear, when we say they are too expensive, we are not criticizing people who have to price camps. You have overhead, you have staff, you have...
We want the people taking care of our kids paid well.
Yes,
100%.
But it does become a limiting principle in, well, what do you do with your kids? Well, I can afford one camp. Choose carefully, kids.
One kid, one camp. Fight for it.
Right. Page match.
Raising a well-behaved child in this world requires strict discipline and punishment. Today, we will look...
No, we will not.
Okay, so before we get into the bulk of the episode, and we stop discussing all the things that Gwenna did wrong, so we're going to talk about summertime and getting out of school and sort of surviving that. The first thing I want to point out before the comment section devolves, why are you talking about summer already? It's not for another month. Large portions of the country go to school August to May. So as Tori and I are recording this, my kids have 7 days of school left. That's it.
2 weeks. Yeah. So I think 10 days.
Yeah.
And
that's all we have left. So yes, I know some of you aren't getting out till June. And so this feels like a preemptive episode, but our kids are out in 2 weeks. So
yeah. And I am from New York, not the city, Gwenna. And
there's a difference.
I grew up going to school September to June. And so I have sent my kids to school in Kentucky, not Tennessee, Gwenna, for all of their schooling. And I'm still not, it's still strange to me, but I've gotten more used to it.
So if you are in the September to June crowd and this is an early episode, just bookmark it and come back to it in June so you can listen to it when it's fresher on your radar.
Yeah. Or just listen now. That's fine too.
So the question is, as a kid, I looked forward to summertime. Even as an introverted kid, I was not the kid, terrorizing the neighborhood. I was the kid inside my house watching the same movie on repeat, reading books, and doing whatever hyperfixation was the flavor of the summer. Honestly, the fact that I was an adult before they diagnosed the ADHD, really just mind-blowing when you look back.
Yeah. There was no neighborhood for me to terrorize. I grew up on a mountain on a dirt road with 6 houses on it. It wasn't really a neighborhood. But
each of the 6 houses also had 6 cars. I about said the V word, but you make fun of me for it.
Vehicle. I did it for you. No, it was my dad had enough of the cars for all of the houses. Yeah. We had a pet.
I say that respectfully.
we had a pet goat. Okay. So I looked forward to summer for the same reasons. It was, I get to sit and play my games and read my books and go and, play in the woods, because that's just what I did. Yeah. And I think times have changed a lot for better and worse.
I think it's a little bit of both, because now as an adult, I don't look forward to summertime. Summertime represents this massive upset, not just in my time demands, because all 3 of my children go to public school, which means from about 7:30 to about 3:30, my kids are elsewhere, which gives me the day to do the work that I need to do to continue paying mortgages.
It's more complicated now that I'm a work from home parent. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes I wonder, does summertime actually suck more, or is this just
adulthood?
Our parents felt this way?
Yeah.
Because, and we just didn't notice because we were kids. It wasn't our job to notice.
I think it's also different because the standards are different. And we take care of our kids. That's the end of the sentence.
Okay, hit the button.
Trauma dump.
But not just like in the way that my childhood
For the record,
was.
My mom took care of me. Tori's childhood experience was different.
I can't speak for everyone, but I know I speak for a lot of you. Mm-hmm.
No, that's true. That's fair.
But even though your mom was there for you, I am sure that you were at least part-time latchkey kid.
Oh yeah, no, I was 100. I wasn't a latchkey kid. I was a porch key kid because we couldn't afford latchkey because that cost money. And so I was a porch key kid, which meant I had the key to the house under the porch
I
mat.
grew up
and
on
I
a
would just-
mountain in the middle of nowhere. We didn't even lock the door. But no, that's I think that a big difference that maybe our parents didn't have that same stress is they would just leave us home if there was nowhere for us to go. You know?
Well, and more than once in my own childhood, I'd be dumped in a mall parking lot with $10 in my pocket in a wave saying, I'll be back in 3 hours.
Do you remember when $10 could get you 10 or 3 hours worth of things to do?
Right.
Those were the days. Now
$10
that's
would
two
get me
vending
in the
machine
door.
drinks.
That's
Yeah.
Two vending machine drinks.
And
they come out the mini cans.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that I do feel like it's a different experience now leaving your kids home alone. And I think some of that is definitely warranted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel like there is now this pressure, like you are never to leave a child home alone. And it's like there's some independence that can happen with that. There is, and it's child dependent and there's all these things that go into it. But now one of the things that I do think is better and worse about summers now, camps.
I don't know because again, we grew up so poor. I don't know if camps existed when I was a kid or not.
Same. Same. But I think
there might have been camps and we were just too broke for me to go to.
I do think this like plays into this same thing is that, well, especially for parents who work out of the house, right?
Yeah.
You can't leave your kid home alone all summer. And I mean, you can. I was left home alone all summer, but
right. I was too. And here's the thing:
camps
is I don't
are
fault my
so
mom for that.
expensive.
Yes,
they're so expensive, and they're a week at a time. So it's like $200, $300, and you get like 3 days for 4 hours or something.
Yeah,
and it's so. But they also look so fun, and so I usually try to get my kids one camp a summer just for a fun thing for them to do.
To be clear, when we say they are too expensive, we are not criticizing people who have to price camps. You have overhead, you have staff, you have...
We want the people taking care of our kids paid well.
Yes,
100%.
But it does become a limiting principle in, well, what do you do with your kids? Well, I can afford one camp. Choose carefully, kids.
One kid, one camp. Fight for it.
Right. Cage match.
Yeah.
Watch out for the little one. She's scrappy.
There are some affordable camps.
There are.
Of course, but there's so many. And it's like there's so much more to juggle, I think, in the summer is really what I'm getting at. Is it's like if you want to do those types of things or if you have to, it's so much more to juggle.
Yeah.
And there's like it's hard to find a middle ground because you can leave your kids home alone for some times, depending on their ages. Who your
kids are. Right.
And their needs. And then there's also... if you are work from home or if you are in a situation where you do just get to stay at home, you still want to do the things for them.
Right. Well, and the internet, this is the constant. This comes up all the time. The internet has this way of making you feel like if you have not packed your kid's schedule from wake up to lay down, you are doing it wrong. Free time has been demonized and not necessarily wrongly, because free time almost always ends up with a child making an incredibly questionable choice.
Or an incredibly questionable noise.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.